Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Tuesday. All of our guests today, including Craig Button, are brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Craig's standing by or sitting by. Located oceanside in beautiful Parksville, the Bayside Resort is one of Vancouver Island's premier spots to get away, unwind, and recharge. With a locally inspired menu and their breathtaking restaurant, their panoramic ocean view guest rooms, and on-site pool and fitness center, the Bayside Resort is your one-stop shop for relaxation. Book your island getaway today at BaysideOceanfrontResort.com. As we bring in Craig Button, TSN Scouting Director. How are you on this Tuesday, Craig?
I am good. I'm wearing my 1917 Seattle Metropolitans T-shirt. I was there in Seattle when they raised the banner. And then Ryan asked, he said that you were there, Donnie. What do you remember about that championship season?
I remember they had really ugly uniforms. He just reminded me.
Evidence.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't mind them. The Kraken's uniforms are beautiful. Hey, all this talk about Evander Kane to Edmonton. What's your opinion of the thought of Evander Kane playing with the Oilers?
Okay, so I'm going to go two different ways. Number one, as a hockey player, I mean, what a tremendous fit. I mean, you talk about playing with the best player on the planet in Connor McDavid. You know, you read about, Edmonton would be one of his top 5 teams. It should be number one. If they're interested in you, Evander, you should be absolutely interested in them and hear what they have to say and then decide, because you're not going to get a better opportunity than playing with Connor McDavid. Now, the second part of this, and I don't think we have to debate that Evander Kane is a good hockey player. The second part of this is, okay, what does it mean for the Edmonton Oilers bringing in Evander Kane? Do we anticipate that he'll be really good and, carry on and just keep the focus on his on-ice play? And his on-ice play has always been good. But, if it starts to be a concern about, the impact he may have away from the ice, those are the questions that Ken Holland. He's going to have to spend time with his key players. That's 29 and 97, Duncan Keith, Darnell Nurse. You're going to have to spend time with those players to help them, to get feedback from them, what they feel is the positive, how they'll handle different things. Because a coach and a manager can be around the team. It's the players. It's the group of players that are going to be with Evander all the time. I mean, we saw it in San Jose with Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau. And maybe that's part of the challenge for Evander in San Jose. Joe Thornton leaves and then Patrick Marleau's gone. And maybe there wasn't the same type of ability to help him. And that's not an indictment against anybody in San Jose, because I want to be very clear. All the problems that have engulfed Evander Kane's been the common denominator in all of them. Yeah. So, that would be the process. And I would expect that Evander Kane is going to come in and say, oh no, I just want to prove it. And when you look at a salary cap point of view and a short-term deal, I mean, there's no question that the on-ice player would be a terrific fit with the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, could be worth a shot. Canucks in Florida tonight to take on a Panthers team that is number 1 in the National Hockey League. They've been outstanding. What do you like about that team, and what are their weaknesses?
Donnie, one of the things that they showed last year in their division play in the regular season and certainly in the playoffs versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're quick, they're fast, they're hard. And so for the Vancouver Canucks under Bruce Boudreau, who have played quick and have played fast and have been very competitive, this is a real test. This is a real test against a team that knows how to get the game in their favor, that knows how to swing a game in their favor, and knows how to make the game really difficult for their opponent. Ask the Calgary Flames. They just went through Florida, and they played pretty well. But Bobrovsky was good. Markstrom wasn't as good. But this is a very, very strong Florida Panthers team. What I would suggest is that for the Vancouver Canucks, it's a real strong opportunity to see where you sit, where you stand with one of the top Stanley Cup contenders.
Craig, the GM search in Vancouver looks like it's winding down. Jim Rutherford's talked to a lot of former Penguins. Are you surprised? Like, a lot of people aren't surprised. Hockey people like to hire people they trust and they know. Your thoughts on him talking to a lot of former Penguins? Did you see it coming? Obviously, a lot of people did.
March of the Penguins, I guess.
Exactly.
It, right?
Very good.
Yeah, Derek Clancy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm using
Derek
that.
Patrick Alvin, maybe. Yeah.
Well, so Jim, here's what I would say, and we've talked about this previously. Like Jim has massive amounts of experience in the National Hockey League, working with a lot of different people. And, as president of hockey operations, to be able to have him overseeing things, mentor somebody in that role as general manager. And that includes Daniel and Henrik Sedin. That includes Stan Smeal, who is now a vice president in the hockey department. So when I look at what Jim Rutherford can do and what he can affect, and to have people that understand who you are and what you're looking at, I think is really important. And so let's take a step back on Patrick Alvin. Patrick Alvin, Jim Rutherford didn't know Patrick Alvin when he came into Pittsburgh, but he looked at him, watched him, made him an assistant general manager. So Jim Rutherford has already seen things in Patrick that has impressed him. And Jim isn't just going to go down the path of I'm going to hire the people that I only know. But he knows lots of people, and he knows most of the people in the league. And I said this previously, he knows who they are. But I think if we just focus in on a Patrick Alvin, that, certainly for Jim Rutherford to be able to have somebody that knows him and somebody that he can clearly help, I think that would be a real positive. And yeah, I mean, like in every walk of life, you you tend to, gravitate towards those that you're familiar with and your understanding of their work. But Jim was very open-minded on Patrick Alvin when Patrick, wasn't known to Jim Rutherford. So now that he is a little bit more known to Jim Rutherford, having worked with him, I don't see that as any type of negative in any way, shape, or form. I think Jim understands what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, and to get people around him that can really help this team move forward. I think that's positive, having Jim in that role as president.
Hey, Craig, I want to get your thoughts on this. Bobby Clarke did a podcast and absolutely ripped Ron Hextall today for having blinders on, not listening to his scouts, and he said he's the reason they took Nolan Patrick, not Cale Makar. And Donnie said to me, it's years have gone by. Some people aren't letting it go. And we do that in this city as well with Canuck draft picks. Is it sometimes just let it go, it happened? Can't do anything about it now.
You're right. And it's something that, it's water under the bridge, so to speak, Rick. But here's how the way I look at it. The Flyers never eat their own. They never eat their own. And Bob Clarke is the face of the Philadelphia Flyers. Make no mistake about it. And I have a hard time believing there will be anybody else that will replace him as the face of the Philadelphia Flyers. He loves the Philadelphia Flyers. When they fired Ron Hextall, there was a lot of eyebrows raised. Like, what's happening here? Ron Hextall is a Flyer. I think the fact that Bob Clarke has come out and made his comment about that draft probably met with a lot of questions. Why didn't you take Makar? Why didn't you take Makar? Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, Bob Clarke he's as honest as the day is long. He just says, here's what happened. Here's exactly what happened. And we don't hear that very often, right? Yeah. So at the same time, when we do hear eyebrows are raised, it gets the hair on the back of our necks up a little bit. But that's how Bob Clarke operates. And he operates and he doesn't operate with agendas. He just says, here's what happened. Here's why it happened. And, that's the forthright honesty you're going to get from Bob Clarke.
Hey, Craig, I'll put you on the spot here. We had Aidan McDonough on the show yesterday. Very impressive young man out of Northeastern. 7th-round draft pick of the Canucks in 2019. Has 15 goals in 19 games in NCAA hockey this year. What do you know about him? What can you tell us about him?
I don't know anything. I can't tell you anything, Donnie. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. Aidan McDonough is a really good player. And, Aidan McDonough, in terms of some of the Canucks' best prospects, he's right at the top of that list. And, players get drafted, so we know what he was that day in 2019, but players improve and players get better. And, certainly that's what's happened with Aidan, but he's a very gifted offensive player. I mean, the discussion about him potentially being part of the USA Olympic team, I mean, that tells you a lot about where he's at. I mean, he's in a great program at Northeastern. He's continuously progressed in his game. And, I look at him and I see a player that's an NHL player. That's what I see in him. So, an opportunity, not only to advance your game and to mature it where you are at Northeastern, but now to get that little bit of a push to go and play at a higher level against pro players in a lot of instances at the Olympics. What a tremendous experience that would be for Aidan. And it would just be another positive in his development path towards getting to the NHL and being a contributor for the Vancouver Canucks.
Yep. Love the shirt. Thanks, Craig. Appreciate it.
You guys have a great day.